Segment 5.19. The surface was never neutral. They didn't discover it underground. They discovered it on the way back up. The service door opened to a city that looked exactly the same as it had hours earlier. Traffic humming, lights steady, buildings standing tall. But the wizard felt the difference immediately. The tone was off. Lyra's presence sharpened, no longer distant or observational. Surface authorities are not ignorant, she said. Some are embedded. Some are managed. Some are, leased. Jessica stopped mid-step. You're telling me this isn't just about forgotten infrastructure? No, the wizard replied. It's about who controls collapse. Segment 5.20. The administrative layer back in the lab. Data overlays bloomed across the wall. City planning departments. Emergency management agencies. Infrastructure renewal boards. Public-private partnerships. Patterns emerged. California first. Then New York. Then coastal cities. Then financial hubs. All places heavily dependent on old subterranean systems, legacy water routing, aging power corridors, hidden load-bearing sublevels, and all showing the same symptoms. Deferred maintenance, narrative saturation, crisis normalization, asset stripping during emergencies. They're letting systems fail on purpose, Jessica said quietly. Lockwood nodded grimly. And rewriting the rules while everyone's distracted, Lyra confirmed it. Collapse is being used as a legal mechanism. Segment 5.21. The old card is failing. The wizard leaned back, hands steepled. For centuries, he said, control came from scarcity. Energy scarcity. Housing scarcity. Information scarcity. He gestured at the underground schematics. These systems don't obey that model. Localized balance. Distributed resilience. No billing node. No single choke point. Jessica exhaled. So the old control card doesn't work down there. No, the wizard said. Which is why it was buried. Not destroyed. Buried. Lyra added something colder. Some surface authorities were promised continuity if they prevented rediscovery. Segment 5.22. White hats in plain sight. The White Knights hadn't just arrived underground. They were already topside. Quiet inspectors. Infrastructure auditors. Emergency engineers. Temporary, federal task forces. Not seizing power. Stabilizing failures. California wildfires. Water mismanagement. Grid instabilities. Permitting freezes. The wizard saw it now. White hats don't announce, he said. They repair. Jessica smiled grimly. And they don't argue on social media. Segment 5.23. The compromised ones' names appeared on the screen. Not villains. Not masterminds. Administrators who signed away authority, temporarily. Officials who approved emergency overrides. Managers who looked the other way while assets moved underground. They weren't evil, Lockwood said. They were compliant. And compliance, the wizard replied, is how stewardship gets replaced with extraction. Lyra's voice softened. Many believed they were preventing panic. Segment 5.24. The quiet reversal. The most unsettling revelation came last. Some cities had already begun switching back. Pilot projects disguised as resilience hubs, climate adaptation zones, emergency microgrids, historic preservation efforts. Old tunnels reopened for safety inspections. Basements reclassified as infrastructure assets. Maintenance crews trained without being told why. White Knights didn't overthrow governments. They made them unnecessary in specific layers. Segment 5.25. The choice returns. The wizard stood at the window, watching the city breathe. People think collapse looks like chaos, he said. But it often looks like paperwork. Jessica crossed her arms. So what happens next? Lyra answered before he could. The question is not whether control shifts. It already has. The question is whether the surface learns stewardship, or repeats extraction. Somewhere below, ancient systems adjusted again. Not awakening. Waiting. And across timelines, the White Knights continued their work, not as saviors, not as rulers, but as something far older and rarer. Caretakers. End of Surface Compromised Arc. Global Robotics Corporation. Interplanetary Trading Company. Robert Colee.